Everybody's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I want to make something. I haven't decided exactly what, but I had this cardboard that I was about to cut up, and I was like, maybe I could use that for something. So let's see what we can make out of this cardboard. Something small and something fancy. Look at a miniature and see what we have options for. Well, let's make steps. We made steps out of those. Let's make steps out of these. Let's make stone steps. Alright, to make my steps, my intent is to go kind of half inch, a little bit bigger than half inch steps that are 2 inches wide. So let's go, this is 1.5 inches, by the way, but anyways. And we want these to be about 1 inch, so miniature can sit on. This is 1 inch. Maybe like stone bricks. I don't know. I don't know. This would be like a modular piece that you can throw on any other terrain to create some elevation. That's what we'll do. So, since these are 1/2 inch, this will have to be 2 inches tall to be the back of the steps. That's about 2 by 2-ish. Looks crooked. Oh well, we'll make it work. Alright, so how do we get this going? We need this to be 4 inches long. By 2 inches. Ow, 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 ow. Alright. Okay. Something like that. I'm using this to be my like template. Why do I feel like that's not going to be long enough? Alright, anyways, we'll figure it out. If I were smart, I would have measured all this and cut it, but I'm not, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, this is how I function in the mornings. 1 cup of coffee. Sorry, the dogs woke me up. Alright, so we know we want it to be a 1/2 inch. Increments. We know we want these to be in inch increments. And since this is an inch, we're just going to cheat and make that work. Alright, now we're cooking with grease. Oh, that was terrible. It's a bad cut. Okay. Yeah, my measurements are all off. We're just going to make it work. This is a terrible craft. Just want to warn you in advance. This sucks. This is not well done, dudes. Okay. Square is like a really important tool if you're making stuff. I'm just cutting some backstops for those steps or kick plates, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I'm just going to install those like that. Oh. Something like that. It's wonky and terrible. If I were smart, I would stop recording right now. But sometimes terrible stuff like this can be salvaged and made decent, right? We know that. We know that. That is somehow the exact size of that. That worked out exceedingly well. Okay. Okay. Something like that. That ain't right. Okay. And we just need to clean up the front there a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Any kind of material you have to put on that frame, you can turn these into any kind of steps you want. I'm going to do a little glue in those gaps to sturdy that up. These are terrible steps. But I'm going to keep building them anyway. La 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 la. So I'm having fun. La 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 la. I am having fun. I just like making stuff. I'm usually not someone who would invest this much time into something that could have been done so much easier. I'm enjoying it. These are getting super sturdy. Ow, that's hot. Oh. Weirdos in my life. Weirdos in my life. Yes, there are weirdos in my life. Sometimes I'm one of those weirdos. What do you guys do to cope with anger? Like when people are just blatantly stupid or just evil or ignorant, and you know they should know better, or you believe they should know better at least, but they insist on just being wrong or horrible. How do you handle that? I know lately in my fights against corruption in my city, when elected officials just play stupid, it becomes exceedingly frustrating to me. When bureaucrats who have had jobs for 30 plus years can just lie and get away with it. And my mayor blames social media for the problem. Social media, yeah. People having the ability to speak out. That's the problem. Notice that this is a terrible cut down here. I'm going to come back and try to fix that. Now, let's try to make these into stone steps, or brick steps even, maybe would be good. I think stone would work. I think that we could paint these in like sand, or glue and sand, and make some cool steps out of them, honestly. Who knows? I do not know. Injustice. Accountability. Transparency. All pretty basic stuff, you would think, right? You'd think. Alright. So we have definitely turned those couple little slabs of cardboard into a good bit of stuff over here. Now let's get a cup to maneuver in, collect some of this junk. Where did I put my garbage bag? I lost my garbage bag. La, 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 la. We're going to get some glue and some white Mod, or clear matte Mod Podge. And we're going to make some texture on our stumps. Oh no! Prophylactic. You see that prophylactic shock? Not anaphylactic. Prophylactic. Okay. I'm going to mix some paint here. because that's going to let us see exactly where we have and have not covered. Now, if you're worried about it not sticking to this hot glue, there's something you can do. You can just hit it with clear coat, like something like that, and it'll create a bond that can stick to. We got some sticky outies there. Okay. Then we see a crappy brush. Okay. And we don't want to get a mess everywhere. So you can get a tray. Like this is an old plastic shoebox. That'll work good for something like this. What's nice about using an old shoebox like this is that when this dries, I can dump all this stuff back into my sand. And it's all salvageable. Then I can just let that sit and dry naturally, and I can paint it however I want. For my stone steps, I'm going to let that air dry. I'm going to spray it with a sealant or a clear coat. Just to get an extra, like, good, so none of the sand ever comes off again, you know what I mean? I'm going to hit it with a sealant. I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to spray paint them black and then dry brush them down gray a couple times. Just real basic to match my other stone terrain and stuff. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, that's my plan. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Check these out on the side here. This is how big a mini is. Something like that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, comment. Yeah, comment. Comments. Later.